Hello and welcome onto this series when it comes to the learning about Terraform. Now, before we drill into Terraform itself, I want to give a quick introduction as to what is Terraform and why are so many people looking towards Terraform when it comes to provisioning and managing their cloud infrastructure. So, Terraform Terraform is an open source tool. It is used for provisioning and managing cloud infrastructure. So, just to have an understanding and a use case scenario, let's say Azure Cloud Platform, you have to create a set of resources. So, you have to create Azure Virtual Network. Within that virtual network, you have to create subnets and Azure Virtual Machines, Azure SQL database, and an Azure Storage account. All these resources you have to create on Azure. Now, normally what you do, you go ahead and create all these resources one by one, and you start deploying those resources. But when you use Terraform, you can just define the configuration file and you can submit the configuration file onto the Terraform executable, and then Terraform will actually automatically deploy those resources based on your Terraform configuration file. So it's a quick way to go ahead and automate the deployment of your resources. So when you are looking at another use case scenario, um, in the world of automation, Terraform can be very useful. So let's say development team has an application that maintaining an application, they have made a change onto the application code. Now they want to first have a test environment. So this is the test environment. If you see a test environment itself, uh, then you would test the application, and then once that testing is complete, there could be a requirement to go ahead and destroy the test environment. So in once you deploy test application and then destroy test environment. So in order to reduce cost, the company might tell that once the testing is over, we don't need the Azure virtual machines and other resources. We don't need the Azure SQL databases. When you want to deploy the next version of the application for testing, then go ahead and build the test environment again. So in such cases, if you're going to the Azure portal and if you're going to deploy the resources one by one, then it will actually take time to build this environment. And this is the simplest of environment that you can actually build on Azure platform. Right, what you have on the screen, this is the simplest of the environment that you can build on Azure. And again, it could be a hectic process if you are, uh, you know, uh, doing it on portal itself instead of using Terraform. Y- You can also build much more complex environments where you have multiple resources based on different services deployed. So in such a case, you can use Terraform to actually build your environment in a matter of minutes using infrastructure as a code. Now, another big advantage when it comes on Terraform is that it actually works with a variety of cloud platforms. So it works with, you see, a multi-cloud provisioning. So it works with Azure, it works with Amazon AWS, and also with Google Cloud Platform, GCP. Now, when you look at Microsoft Azure, they also have Azure Resource Manager, ARM template. So ARM templates, it does the same job. When you it also works as an infrastructure as a code. So when you go ahead and you specify what infrastructure needs to be deployed as a code, and as we go in the series on understanding how to build infrastructure as a code using Terraform, you will have a better understanding. But when it comes to Microsoft Azure, as you also see ARM templates, you can also use ARM templates to build your infrastructure. But it's only pertinent to Azure. You can only use ARM templates for building resources on the Azure platform. But when you look at Terraform, Terraform can actually work with a variety of platforms. So this is the basic difference between these two. ARM templates is only for Azure, and when you see Terraform, you can choose any platform you want where it's you need to build your infrastructure. It will work seamlessly with any cloud infrastructure, and not any but most of the cloud infrastructure. It will work fine. So before actually getting started, I just wanted to give you a quick introduction why so many people are adopting the use of Terraform when it comes to building their infrastructure as a code. It's easy, it's open source, it works with multiple cloud platforms. It's easy to scale, it's a standardized process. You do not need to rebuild your infrastructure again and again. You just need to build once, you have the code, and you can implement it at any time. You can destroy it anytime. But when you build it again, you already have the code which you destroyed last time. So it will take just few seconds to build the new infrastructure. And it also gives you the parity in your infrastructure. You do not need to ask what exactly the configuration last VM had, the configuration of your virtual network, your databases, because everything is there in your code. Just go and have a look and change if anything required. So it gives you flexibility. Uh, So that's why people are moving towards Terraform when it comes to building their infrastructure as a code. So that's it for today's video. In next video onwards, we will start building the infrastructure. We will see, go to in our lab, we will create a new infrastructure, and we will see how to use Terraform right from the scratch. So please subscribe and like uh, this video and channel so you get the notification as soon as a new video is uploaded. Thank you for the time. Bye.